Welcome to Streaming News Network by Claude McDaniel. News without the hype and biased reporting. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. President Donald Trump has announced what he described as the completion of a new agreement involving the Islamic Republic of Iran, declaring that maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz will resume without charge or restriction. In a statement released today, Trump said he is fully authorizing the reopening of the strategic waterway, one of the world's most important oil shipping routes. He also announced the immediate removal of the United States naval blockade that had been in place in the region. The president's message emphasized restoring the free flow of global energy supplies, telling commercial vessels around the world to resume operations and declaring, quote, "Let the oil flow." The Strait of Hormuz serves as a critical passage connecting the Persian Gulf to international markets, with a significant portion of the world's oil exports passing through the corridor each day. Any disruption to traffic in the region can have major implications for global energy prices and international trade. Additional details regarding the terms of the agreement and its broader geopolitical impact have not yet been released. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. New York City officials are warning of a major budget crisis, with Mayor Zohran Mamdani describing the financial challenge as one of historic proportions, comparable to the economic fallout of the Great Recession. Speaking at a recent press conference, Mamdani announced that the city's executive budget deadline would be extended until May 12, saying the scale of the crisis requires assistance from state leaders in Albany. According to city estimates, New York currently faces a deficit of approximately $2.2 billion, with projections showing an additional $10.4 billion budget gap by 2027. Combined, the city could face a shortfall of more than $12.6 billion over the next 2 years. City Comptroller Mark Levine blamed the problem on spending and budgeting decisions made by the previous administration rather than current economic conditions. Mamdani said city officials have already identified roughly $1.7 billion in potential savings by targeting inefficiencies, waste, and fraud. However, he stressed that spending cuts alone will not be enough to balance the budget. The mayor is now calling for new sources of revenue and what he describes as a structural reset to address the city's long-term financial challenges. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. American singer and entertainer Oliver Tree is believed to be among 6 people killed following a mid-air collision between 2 helicopters over Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Authorities say all occupants aboard both aircraft were killed in the crash, which occurred Sunday morning and remains under investigation. According to officials, one helicopter was carrying 5 people, while the second aircraft was occupied only by its pilot. Following the collision, one of the helicopters crashed into a vehicle dealership parking area, igniting a fire that damaged numerous vehicles. Witnesses described the scene as chaotic and terrifying. Tree, 32, was in Brazil as part of his international concert tour. The performer, known for hit songs including Life Goes On and Miss You, had recently appeared in São Paulo and was scheduled for additional performances across Europe in the coming weeks. Authorities are still working to formally identify all victims through forensic examinations. Other reported victims include Argentine content creator Gaspar Prim Diaz, along with Lucas Vignal, Lucas Brito Chavez, and pilots Alexander Souza and Charles Marcelac. The cause of the collision has not yet been determined. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. A newly signed Virginia law restricting the sale and transfer of certain semi-automatic firearms is drawing legal challenges and sparking disagreement among some of the lawmakers who supported it. Governor Abigail Spanberger signed Senate Bill 749 into law on May 14. The measure, set to take effect July 1, bans the sale and transfer of firearms classified under the legislation as assault weapons. The law is already facing challenges from several Second Amendment advocacy groups. Controversy intensified after State Senator Saddam Salim suggested that Virginia residents could potentially acquire affected firearms in neighboring states and return home without authorities being aware. However, federal law generally prohibits residents from purchasing firearms outside their home state if the transaction would violate the laws of their state of residence. State Delegate Dan Helmer publicly disagreed with Salim's interpretation, arguing that bringing a prohibited firearm into Virginia would still violate the new law and could result in criminal penalties. Gun rights advocates have seized on the disagreement, arguing it demonstrates confusion among supporters of the legislation. Critics also contend the measure conflicts with previous Supreme Court rulings regarding firearms commonly owned by Americans. The law is scheduled to take effect while court challenges continue to move forward. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. The television industry is mourning the loss of veteran producer James Barker, a key figure behind the success of Love Island USA. ITV America and Peacock confirmed Monday that Barker died last week after suffering what was described as an unexpected medical emergency while working on the 8th season of the reality dating series in Fiji. He had been part of the Love Island USA production team since 2020 and most recently served as executive producer for the past 3 seasons. In a joint statement, ITV America and Peacock called Barker a beloved and highly valued member of their production family, praising his kindness, talent, and dedication. The companies also extended condolences to his family, friends, and colleagues. Barker built a lengthy career in unscripted television. He began working as a producer with Leftfield Pictures in 2011, contributing to popular programs including Pawn Stars, Counting Cars, and Forged in Fire. He later joined ITV America, where he worked on Queer Eye and eventually rose to the position of co-executive producer. His production credits also included Love Island games and projects for several major television production companies. Love Island USA is expected to honor Barker's memory during Tuesday night's episode. This is Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network. An Italian businesswoman has been sentenced to 18 years of house arrest after being convicted in the death of a man accused of stealing her handbag in the Tuscany resort city of Viareggio. 65-year-old Cinzia Dal Pino was found guilty of aggravated voluntary homicide stemming from a September 2024 incident that was captured on surveillance cameras. Prosecutors said Dal Pino used her sport utility vehicle to strike 52-year-old Nureddin Mezgi after allegedly pursuing him following the theft of her handbag. According to court findings, surveillance footage showed the vehicle striking Mezgi multiple times. Emergency responders later pronounced him dead at the scene. The case drew national attention across Italy and fueled debate over crime, self-defense, and the limits of personal retaliation. Authorities emphasized that citizens are not permitted to take the law into their own hands, regardless of the circumstances surrounding an alleged crime. The incident also sparked political controversy after Italian Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini publicly commented on the case, arguing that the tragedy stemmed from the alleged criminal act that preceded the confrontation. The sentence concludes one of Italy's most closely watched criminal cases of the past year. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Federal immigration authorities have arrested a Russian national convicted in connection with a fatal traffic crash in Minnesota that claimed the life of a truck driver in 2024. According to officials, Georgi Gabeev was taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement on June 9 and is being held pending removal proceedings. Authorities say Gabeev entered the United States in 2022 and was later released while his immigration case was pending. The arrest stems from a crash that occurred on March 5, 2024, in Chippewa County, Minnesota. Investigators said Gabeev drove through a stop sign and collided with a vehicle operated by Tim Tarnowski, who was killed in the crash. Court records show Gabeev pleaded guilty to criminal vehicular manslaughter and served 120 days in jail. During the investigation, he told law enforcement he had been listening to an English-language learning program on an iPad at the time of the collision and stated that he was not actively watching the device while driving. Tarnowski's widow welcomed the arrest, saying it provides a measure of closure for her family. Federal officials also pointed to the case as part of a broader effort to remove non-citizens convicted of serious crimes. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Veteran actress Jane Seymour has announced that she is engaged to longtime partner John Zambetti, marking what would be her 5th marriage. The 75-year-old Hollywood star, best known for her leading role in the television series Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, confirmed the engagement after months of speculation surrounding a prominent ring she had been wearing on her left hand during public appearances and red carpet events. Seymour and Zambetti, an emergency room physician and musician, have been in a relationship for nearly 3 years. The couple reportedly met through their children, who were acquainted before introducing them. Earlier this year, Seymour downplayed rumors of an engagement, saying the ring symbolized happiness and commitment. She has now revealed that the jewelry is, in fact, an engagement ring. The actress said she is happier than ever and deeply committed to her relationship with Zambetti as the couple prepares for their future together. Seymour has enjoyed a career spanning more than 5 decades in film and television and remains one of Hollywood's most recognizable stars. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Marius Borg Høiby, the son of Norway's Crown Princess Mette-Marit, has been sentenced to 4 years in prison after being convicted on multiple criminal charges, including 2 counts of rape. The 29-year-old was found guilty by a court in Oslo following a 7-week trial that drew intense public attention across Norway. Prosecutors had accused Høiby of a series of offenses involving multiple women, including sexual assaults and violations of restraining orders. Judges convicted Høiby of raping 2 women who were unable to consent. One incident occurred at an afterparty on the Skogum estate, the residence of Crown Prince Haakon and Crown Princess Mette-Marit, while another involved a woman in Oslo in 2024. In addition to the rape convictions, Høiby was found guilty of numerous other offenses, including sexual molestation charges and the abuse of a former girlfriend. Overall, he was convicted on 34 of 38 charges brought against him. The court acquitted him on 2 rape counts and several other allegations. Prosecutors had sought a sentence of more than 7 years, while defense attorneys argued for a significantly shorter term. An appeal remains possible. Although Høiby was raised within Norway's royal family after his mother married Crown Prince Haakon, he does not hold a royal title or official royal status.
Thank you for listening to Streaming News Network videos and shorts. Please like and subscribe to our news channel.